Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Leah and most of my videos are focused on unsolved crimes and mysteries. If you're a returning subscriber, you know I'm always happy to see you. Wow, I can really feel it's been a long time since I did these videos. I feel a little bit rusty. It's because I was in Denmark on Christmas holiday. And as you know, when I'm in Denmark, I'm staying at my sister's house with her two kids. And that house is always so busy and I love it. But it's so hard to find time to do my recordings. So I had to wait until after Christmas when I came back home. Today's video is gonna be about all the missing people in South Dakota. It is unbelievable. 1 month, 28 people vanished out of the thin air in 1 month. There's a very serious problem over there. And when I did my video on Serenity Dennard, who ran away from Black Hills Children's Home, I told you that it wasn't over. I'm gonna be back with more videos about it because this is a very serious problem. Nobody knows where these people are, who took them, where they went, where they are, and what happened to them. And on this case, I'm not working alone anymore. I have 3 people behind me, and the difference between me and them is that they're doing all the footwork in South Dakota. I am not in South Dakota. I'm doing all the work online. The people I'm working with, they're, like I said, doing all the footwork. And sometimes they do videos. They send me videos and links to different things I need to know and things they want me to check up on. And we just have a whole teamwork going on. And we're gonna burst the bubble. And we're gonna bust these people sooner or later. But there's so much corruption in South Dakota, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And this is not random people, your neighbor next door, or just the cartels. This problem goes all the way to the top to high level people. And we're looking into a lot, and I mean a lot of things. And that's what today's video is going to be about, because I want to share with you some of the things that we are looking at. And it's a lot of things we're looking into, so I hope that it makes sense and you can keep up. And I hope you can keep an open mind, because I know we were all brought up trusting. We have to trust the police. We have to trust officials. We have to trust the government. There are people we can trust. I don't trust them anymore. I have found out so many things, and I've spoken to so many people in South Dakota, and I can't believe this is happening and nobody is doing anything about it. It goes on every single day and nothing is being done about it. And that's what we are trying to change. We want to spread awareness. Let's get this video started. But the first thing that I want to talk about is Serenity Dennard. She allegedly ran away from Black Hills Children's Home, and they said that the canine dogs, they tracked her smell to the highway, and it stopped right in the middle of the highway outside the Black Hills Children's Home. What does that mean to you? Does it mean that she took off and went flying somewhere? Why did the smell of Serenity stop in the middle of a highway? To me, it's very clear that she was picked up by someone. But law enforcement and the government and everyone is like, she ran into the forest and it was really cold. She wasn't wearing a jacket. And we have been looking for days and days and days. And she might have, maybe she froze to death because it was so cold out there. And I'm like, she's not there, you're wasting your time. They even said, even the volunteers had to take breaks because climbing those hills and mountains and the forest and everything, it is so crazy hard. Exactly. This is trained people. They're trained to do this. Serenity was a 9-year-old girl. So if it's crazy hard for them that they need breaks, they need to stop because it's too hard work for them. What makes them think that a 9-year-old girl could do it? Why hasn't any cameras been checked? Maybe there's not cameras right outside the children's home, which I find very weird. There should be cameras surrounding the whole house and the parking lot. But there wasn't. But somewhere along that road outside the children's home, there has to be some cameras. So if you look at the exact time she ran away and check those cameras in both ends of that road, check the first camera you meet, there must be a car somewhere exiting somewhere the exact time. There has to be. She can't just vanish out of the blue. After Serenity went missing and nobody believed their story about her freezing to death in the Black Hills, nobody believed it. So Bill Colson, the CEO, he decided to retire and go live his life. The day Serenity went missing, it took him 80 minutes. 80 minutes, almost 1.5 hours to get to the children's home when one of the children went missing. Where have you been? Where did he go? Why did it take him so long to get to that children's home? But anyway, he retired, and the police chief, Carl, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Carl Jägeris. This guy, Carl, the chief of police, Carl. He's been working with law enforcement for 25 years. He's been working his butt off to climb to the top in the police force. And he was captain, he was chief of police. But all of a sudden, he decides he's gonna retire because now he's gonna be the leader of the Black Hills Children's Home. Everybody's just like, yay, good for you. Don't you find it weird? It's strange. It's really what education does he have to be the leader in a children's home with troubled kids? Just because you're in law enforcement for 25 years, it doesn't mean that you're educated in everything. You can just pick and choose whatever job you want in a CEO position. When you're dealing with these kids that's according to them troubled kids, you need some kind of education and training to look after these kids and take care of them. I don't see anywhere that he has any education at all. He just jumped down from the chair as chief of police and jumped on the chair as the leader of a children's home. Am I the only one where the alarm bells are going off? I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong. Not necessarily, but I still think it's weird. And then a few years after Serenity, she went missing. There was a sighting of her. Was it in Nebraska, Las Vegas? This girl is seen with an elder guy. And this guy that saw them in a store, all his alarm bells went off and he was like, oh my God, it's Serenity Dennard. And he took pictures of them. He took pictures of his car. He even said that they were making out in the store. That's just disgusting. It's an old man and a young girl. Anyway, he reported it to the police. And the police tracked down this guy. And the guy explained that it was his wife. She was 18 years old. And he showed the police both their passports. And said that they had gotten married in South Africa, I think it was. And they were like, okay, that's fine. Are you serious? Look at this girl and look at Serenity. They could be twins. This girl is not 18 years old. You can clearly see that she's a very young girl. They need to track down this girl again and do a DNA test and separate him from her so they can talk to that girl alone. I'm sorry, and I know some of you say it's definitely not Serenity. I can't let it go. I saw the picture a long time ago and I've been trying to let it go. But every time I see that picture, I'm like, Serenity, it's you. I know it's you. My gut is telling me that this girl is Serenity. They need to do a DNA test on this girl. Because even if it isn't Serenity Dennard, there's something wrong with this couple. Look at the way he's holding her arm behind her back. How can they just leave them and say, okay, it's fine, we saw your passport? That passport could easily be fake. They need to see some proper ID. And when it's a juvenile missing that was clearly picked up by someone, probably sold into human trafficking. I'm sorry I'm being so blunt, but it really pisses me off that they just let him stay with her. Or let her stay with him, whatever. Can they see something is wrong with that picture? That girl is not 18 years old. She's not even developed like a woman yet. Look at Serenity. Look at this girl and tell me that you don't think it's her. I would rather have them check her and go see her one more time and do a DNA test to confirm that it's not her. I will look like an idiot, yeah, but I would rather that I look like an idiot than spend years wondering if that is Serenity being married to this old man. I don't care if I look like an idiot. If that girl is not safe, they need to go get her. And another thing is, they just announced some really great news. They're moving the Black Hills Children's Home from the Black Hills to Rapid City. What are they doing? Normally, if you as a family go look for a new house, a new home, you're looking at the environment and you're looking at the neighborhood. Is it safe? Is it a good place for kids? Rapid City is the main location where everybody goes missing. Everybody is missing from Rapid City, and now they want to place a children's home in the middle of Rapid City. What? I just can't. What's going on? It would be the same if you put a children's home in the middle of a cage full of lions, just hoping that everything is going to go well. How can you place a children's home in a city, Rapid City, where all children, they just vanish? They vanish and nobody sees them again. They're putting them there on purpose. Why? What are they doing? It's not safe. I don't know. To me, it's completely insane. And another thing is, this children's home, I checked out their website, and they have something called the Heart Gallery, where you can adopt children. My jaw almost hit the floor when I saw it. It looks like a dating app. It looks like either a dating app or you're buying yourself a new pet. It's set up so the kids, they do a presentation video of themselves, like a sales video of themselves. And then you can, like a dating site, I want a black child, I want a white child, I want the age to be between 0 and 4, 10 and 12. Do you know what I mean? And she have to be from that area. It's like a filter system, so you can filter the children that you're looking for. It's disgusting. It's like a candy shop for pedophiles. And when the problem is that big in South Dakota with human trafficking, organ trafficking, drug trafficking, it's so dangerous what they're doing. And I wish I could stop it. You can't do that. It's not safe. I feel like it's not safe. And the people I'm working with, they're just as shocked as I am. It's poor kids. I feel very sorry for the kids. I'm following some missing people groups on Facebook. And one thing that really struck me is that there's so many missing people, but all they post is a picture, a description, and the date they went missing. But that's it. Why is there no backstories or a last known location on almost all of them? Why doesn't any know where they were last seen? Where were they going? Was it to a friend's house, the mall, the movies, to the grocery store, or walking to school or to work? It would really help a lot if they could provide a backstory with problems with family members, friends, boyfriend or girlfriend, bullying or harassment, maybe even a stalker, or drug problems. Just something. And then, of course, a location. It would help with the searches and the investigations to narrow down an area so we know which location is an area of danger. Why didn't anyone see or hear anything? Are they too scared to talk? What about street cameras or dash cams on cars? Where are they and who took them? Make no mistakes about the cartels. There's several cartels and they all have their own territory. They're hiding in plain sight in remote areas. You could be driving on a highway minding your own business, and in a split second, you're surrounded by gunmen. Most of the cartel members are sky high on drugs and alcohol, and you don't have any choice but to do as they say, or they could actually take your life very easy. They're very cold-hearted people and they feel nothing. No empathy and no sympathy. It's just hardcore business for them. Money and power is all that matters. They also do a lot of kidnappings. Men, women and children are being kidnapped all the time. They use them in sex trafficking, organ trafficking. They even train children to become soldiers and watchmen for them, so they also teach them how to use guns. I'm gonna show you a video of 2 innocent men being pulled over by gunmen. They were extremely lucky to get away.
These bird watchers expected a quiet vacation, taking photos of tropical wildlife. So nothing prepared them for the nightmare they experienced in Mexico.
They have guns. Jesus. No, please.
I still remember seeing down the barrel of the one guy's gun, thinking like, this is it.
It started when Aaron Payzant and Logan Howard were driving nearly 3,000 miles from Indiana to Cancun.
Looks like there's a town up here, a little village.
They're on a back road looking for birds to photograph when out of nowhere, a truck races past.
Oh my God, they have guns.
Gunmen leap out.
Jesus. Go. No, please.
Logan does his best to hide his terror while Aaron speaks to the gunman, as best he can.
Please, what? No, Espanol, please.
The gunmen reassure the Americans that they're not in danger.
No problem, okay? About to pass out. Logan, don't. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. No problem, okay?
They even shake hands.
What's your name? Aaron. See you? Logan. What's your name? Philip. No problem. May I speak English a little?
But Aaron's not convinced the danger has passed.
Please don't kill us.
Logan explains why they're so far off the beaten path.
We just want to see birds.
Did they demand anything from you?
Believe it or not, they didn't demand anything from us other than get out of there. They told us that there was more people further up the road, and if we stayed on that road and didn't get out of there, they literally signaled.
Okay. Can we go?
The nightmare spooked them for the rest of the trip.
We were really scared from that point on, like putting chairs against the hotel door like at night, and I couldn't sleep at night.
The drama happened in 2020, but the video has just gone viral. So who were the gunmen? Could they be a civilian patrol keeping a lid on the drug cartels? The mystery may never be solved. Did you think you were going to lose your lives?
Absolutely.
Last video I'm gonna show you about kidnappings is about a young boy walking home from school by himself, and he's being followed by a car. He was definitely gonna be kidnapped, but he was very aware and very smart. Watch this video.
Looking back,
They said hi, and then I started walking faster.
it seems surreal.
They said, get in the back seat, we have some candy.
Strangers in a white four-door sedan following Graydon's every step as he walked home.
They ran right here, and I just ran right there.
You can see tense moments caught on his family's doorbell camera. Staying vigilant, he watched their car.
And then I peeked my head out, and then they were they were literally like right in front of that little thing.
But when he tried to go in, locked.
I thought I was gonna be kidnapped.
You can hear it in his voice. Panic.
I picked up rocks, and I was holding them like this, and I was gonna throw them, but if they got any closer, I was gonna throw them.
Graydon finally found safety inside of his neighbor's home.
The door was open, so I just ran in, and I closed the door, and I locked it.
But the creeps didn't leave, waiting for minutes in a neighbor's driveway.
It was very real.
In the aftermath, his entire family is on edge.
We've been here for 14 years, and to have it happen on your front doorstep literally it's an eye-opener.
Emotionally, they're all a little traumatized.
We have been talking a lot about locations. When they kidnap people, where do they take them and where do they keep them? I would imagine it would be a very remote and isolated area where they would know for sure that they would never be disturbed. I'm gonna give you some examples of the locations we've been talking about. I'm not saying the victims are there, it's just to tell you what we're looking at. We all know Denny Sanford, who was investigated for child pornography in 2022 and 2023. He invested $70 million on building an underground lab in the Homestake mine. The Homestake mine is 8,000 feet deep, but the lab is only at 4,000 feet. So we've been talking about what's going on under the mine. I've heard that they were not using the lower part of the mine because the airflow and so on is very bad down there. But if you watch the videos from when the mine was active, the airflow was fine down there, and they also had electric installed to keep the trains going with rocks. There was also rooms that the miners they were using as changing rooms. So the airflow is fine, there's electric down there, and rooms.
3 million sticks of dynamite every year. 1 million blasting caps to set off 1 million blasts. For nearly 1.5 million tons of ore mined annually in the Homestake mine. 1 ton of ore to a car, 20 cars to a train. 20 tons of solid ore and not a flake of gold in sight. Locomotives powered by electricity. Locomotives powered by compressed air. All run on tracks from all points underground. Run regularly on a complete railway system. 80 miles of steel track to carry equipment, materials, and gold ore. Down goes the ore to the loading level below, and what punishment that timber takes. It has to be strong to stand that pounding. 1 foot square, tough timber from the Black Hills. This model shows you what the mine actually looks like. A massive underground structure of sturdy timber. Air for power and air for health. Every minute of every day, 500,000 cubic feet of fresh air go into the mine, and 500,000 cubic feet come out. Clean, fresh air every minute of the day for every man underground. This heated tunnel leads directly from the shaft to a modern change house. The miners pass from the shaft to this room without going outside. Here, modern facilities guard against sudden changes in temperature. Safety precautions on the surface as well as underground.
So what is the last 4,000 feet of the mine used for? I don't believe that you spend $70 million on a property and you close off half of it. It wouldn't make any sense. Would you spend millions of dollars on a mansion or a castle and then shut down half of it and make sure it's not used for anything? I would really love to see and know what's going on under the Sanford lab. Close to Edgemont in South Dakota, there's a very old military base that holds 575 underground bunkers. They are for sale and being bought by millionaires and billionaires and being decorated into luxurious homes. They also advertise that you can live there, you can use it like a holiday home or use it as a weekend getaway. And you're always going to be safe there from war, bombs, nuclear weapons, terrorism, and so on. It's soundproof and has a front door that's made of steel and concrete. But if you have millions of dollars and you don't know what to do with them, you can't just buy one of these bunkers. You're going to have to fill out an application form and send it in to the company that sells these bunkers. And then you're going to be called in for a private interview to see if you fit in with the bunker community. Fit in with the bunker community, what does that mean? Underneath the bunkers, there's a full tunnel system. And right now, a lot of these bunkers are being filled with food supply. Do they know something that we don't? Is there a business going on there? How many of you are preparing for terrorism, nuclear war, bombs, and so on? And if you look at the entry to this military base, it definitely does not look like billionaires live there or has a business there. It said, keep out, trespassing will be reported to the police. Why are they so protective? It's a huge empty area full of nothing. All the bunkers are underground. They can resist bombs, war, terrorism, and nuclear weapons. So what's going on down there, and what kind of people fits into a bunker community? Did they build some kind of city underground? Is there shops there, supermarkets? Or what's down there? Would you go in a bunker on holiday that's soundproof? There's no sounds of birds peeping, no nature sounds, no rain, no windows, and when you step out, there's no beach, there's no forest, there's no trees, there's no nothing, and everything is miles away. Really? A holiday home for millions of dollars. I would really love to know what's going on inside those bunkers and in the tunnels.
But B, once that blast door is closed and sealed, you can stay in here for a year. There's a repeating cycle that we go through, and this stuff happens again and again and again. Anybody that's in denial that says this stuff will never happen, well, guess what? They were wrong in January of 2020.
Tonight, I want to speak with you about our nation's unprecedented response to the coronavirus outbreak that started in China and is now spreading throughout the world.
Okay, so now we're at a bunker. The person that owns this one lives in Alaska, and he's a principal for a school up there and also has other businesses. This is a high security lock that was purchased just for this project. This is a blast door. So right now I'm standing in the living room area. As we come around to this side here, this is the kitchen area. This is all the plumbing's been set up for the kitchen. This front portion of the hallway is a 600-gallon water tank is going to be set up there, and that water tank will support plenty of water for the operation of the showers in the kitchen. This next room is another bedroom, and the same with this, has been all wired and set up. This room here is a full bathroom, and the other full bathroom is right aside of it. They're back to back to keep all the plumbing within the one wall. We have another bedroom right here, and this will be number 5 of the bedrooms. So on the back of this unit, it has a root cellar, and in the root cellar, they have an exit area that goes out the back underground. It'll be 8 feet deep with ballast rock and then sand over the top of the ballast rock. And out of that, there'll be an exit that goes out through the back, and so that in case an attack came in and drove him back here, then this is the last resort room, and he'll be out and take his family with him.
In Gettysburg, an old Air Force base was put up for sale, not with a real estate agent, but in an ad on Marketplace on Facebook. It's been closed for years, and it's located in a very remote and isolated area. And of course, there's also tunnels underneath the Air Force base. The man that put it up for sale got so many offers, and even international offers, from people who wanted to buy it. It is a great location for private business, because nobody just pops in to say hello, and you can see people coming miles away. So the location is very private and isolated. Do you think it would be a great location if you are doing some business that's nobody else's business? I think it's amazing how many offers he got on an airbase when you think about the condition of the buildings. That area is so remote and isolated that you could easily bring people there in and out without anyone noticing it. Most of South Dakota has a full network of underground tunnels. They even found a drug tunnel that goes all the way from Mexico to California. Why are these tunnels still available to everyone? They know the cartels and traffickers, they use these tunnels. So why are they not stopping them? They should put up walls or metal gates in the tunnels along with sensors and cameras. So when someone walks into the tunnels, the sensors will set off an alarm and activate the cameras so they can control and see who's down there and what they're doing. It's been proven several times that children has been taken through the tunnels. Tunnels and underground bunkers have been located with children's toys and clothes inside. And close by there were spotted trees with tape or ropes on them. They called them rape trees. Close those tunnels or monitor them 24/7. It would stop a lot of drug dealers and traffickers and cartels.
This is a prison cell. Only kids are being held down here.
And they brought me into the camp and showed me the underground bunker. It was basically a giant plastic container with a hole only small enough for a child to crawl in and out of. And it was angled in such a way, and it was buried underground, that a small child that was in there could not have gotten out on their own.
They're having them slide up.
There's a child's vanity and a hospital toilet. That looks like a child's car seat, strollers and children's toys and clothing and food packets and stuff like that. So clearly children had been kept here. All right, so with these straps. But one thing that was really disturbing was there were arm restraints, wrist restraints on two trees angled like this to where friends of mine that are investigators that do a lot of stuff on the border say, Craig, that's a rape tree. That looks exactly like wrist restraints for a rape tree. It doesn't look like anything else. This is clearly a disturbing and wrongful thing going on. It's inhumane. It's shocking and upsetting.
I haven't fully checked up on CPS yet, but I did see a lot of corruption, fake documents, and allegations against innocent families. They remove children very fast and very easy. I even saw somewhere that when a caseworker successfully removes a child from a family, that caseworker gets a bonus. They are targeting vulnerable families, poor people, people without a social network, unemployed families, single parents. It's not okay in any way. And a lot of these children, they're being placed in children's homes. Like I mentioned before, the Black Hills Children's Home is moving from the Black Hills and into Rapid City in a huge university. Why do they need that much space? Are they expanding and placing more children there? If they have a runaway child, that child would be alone in the middle of Rapid City where people disappear all the time. Why place a children's home in a dangerous neighborhood? Is there tunnels under the university? I would really like to know that. I just really hope they know what they're doing and the children, they're gonna be safe. I do wish them the best of luck. Biden administration, they're part of putting children up for adoption and send them out to sponsors. They don't follow up on these cases. They don't do checkup on the children. They don't do home visits. They have no idea where most of these children they are and if they're safe. And I think Senator Josh Hawley made that very clear.
Senator Hawley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Marcos, can I just start with you? You testified a moment ago to Senator Butler that every child gets a Know Your Rights presentation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that before or after you release them to labor traffickers?
Senator, every child that comes into our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation as well as...
Have you read these New York Times reports? These stories, the series of stories the New York Times has done on the children who are in your care? Have you read them?
Yes, I have.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes? They are operating heavy machinery. They are delivering meals. They are harvesting coffee. They are working construction. They are working as housekeepers. They are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid. They are not going to school. They are not cared for. They are not giving meals. Almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator, ORR...
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping these children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? 85,000 children whom you have no contact with, and your answer is we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for 100 years, a century. A century. It's a disgrace in the United States of America. Let me ask you this. You did an audit, I noticed, where you gave yourself a clean bill of health. So just tell me this. Do you require sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Senator, we have a thorough vetting process.
Do you require sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Yes, we go through.
No, you do not. You do not. Have you read the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations reports on your office? There was one in 2016. There was one in 2018. There was one in 2020. There was one in 2022. Spanning administrations, what they found is you do not require sponsors to document their relationship with the child. You release them anyway. What about background checks? Do you require background checks on all adults in the household?
In cases where the child is being released to their parents, we do not require background checks. But Senator,
Do you require background checks on all adults in the household in any case?
Yes, in some cases we do.
At what percentage of cases do you do background checks on the adults in the household?
I don't have that number.
Do you do home visits in all cases? You can actually see where these children are being released, whose care you're putting them in?
We do not do home visits in all cases. Senator, I'd really like the opportunity to talk about what we are doing.
I know what you're doing, and it's incredibly and totally inadequate. And we can read about it in the New York Times. Since you say you've read it, let's talk a little bit about that New York Times report, if we could. Here's a quote from the April 17th installment. Again and again, veteran government staffers and outside contractors told HHS, including reports that reached the secretary, that children appeared to be at risk. Did you warn the secretary that children were at risk?
Senator, I'm in regular contact with the secretary.
Did you warn him that children were at risk?
Safety and well-being of children is our top priority.
Did you warn him that children were at risk?
I'm not going to get into the conversations I've had.
You're here and you're under oath, and this is an oversight hearing. And we need to know what you're doing because you're manifestly not doing your job. Did you warn him that children were at risk? Do you believe that children are at risk? Let's start with that.
Yes.
Okay. Did you warn the secretary?
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics of my conversation, but I would like the opportunity.
Why wouldn't you warn the secretary that children were at risk?
I would like the opportunity to talk about what we.
Let's look at what the secretary said to you. The other one, James. Yeah, that one. At least 5 HHS staff members said they were pushed out after raising concerns about child safety. Mr. Becerra, the secretary, told the ORR director, that's you, right, that if she could not increase the number of discharges, he would find someone who could. And then he went on to say that if Henry Ford had run his plants like this, he would never have become famous and rich. This is not the way you do an assembly line. Get the kids out, run them through, get them out to those sponsors, those traffickers. Why didn't you resign when he said this? Do you think that this is morally acceptable?
Senator, I joined ORR in September of 2022. I believe that was reported prior to my arrival, but I cannot speak.
This is from the article this year.
I can't speak to what the secretary.
Do you think that this is acceptable to run ORR like an assembly line and to release these children to traffickers?
I can assure you we do not run ORR like an assembly line. The safety and well-being of children is our top concern. And by
Plainly not. Plainly, it is not your top concern because you have managed to lose 85,000 of them. And the Times knows where they are, or 2/3 of them, and they're with labor traffickers. It's unbelievable. Let me just ask you this. How many kids right now, of the 430,000 approximately, unaccompanied children have crossed the border under this administration? It's an astounding number. How many are you in regular contact with right now?
Senator, we have a number of different providers across the country.
But what's the number? What's the number? How many of you are you in? You said child welfare is your top concern. What's the number?
I don't have the specific number.
How can you not know? Why would you come to this hearing and not know?
Respectfully, if you would like us to provide comprehensive case management to children after they're released from our care, so we can report.
Respectfully, I would like you to do your job and not release children to human traffickers. Respectfully, that's what I would like. I'd like you not facilitate the largest child trafficking ring in American history. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I've been looking at a lot of cases in South Dakota where people were found deceased over the years. And I would say maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 bodies they find, they suspect no foul play. So no investigation is done and the case is closed very fast. But I definitely think that more than half of them sounds like foul play to me. Another one is about a Native American teenage boy. He went missing from a reservation. People, they were searching for him and they found him in an area where young people, they hang out and have parties. He was hanging from a tree and had been set on fire. But the police say it doesn't have to be foul play. It doesn't have to be a crime. He could have hung himself and lit a cigarette and put himself on fire. You can't be serious. To me, it sounds like they're protecting someone.
Nearly 2 years ago, KELOLAND News investigated the suspicious death of a 15-year-old boy on the Rosebud Reservation in south central South Dakota. Alize Millard was found hanging from a tree in a remote part of the reservation, often used as a party spot by teens. Law enforcement said the circumstances surrounding his death just didn't add up, yet nothing has happened in the case. Tonight, for the first time, his family is speaking out. They say Millard was murdered.
I just want justice for my son. Why isn't anything being done about it?
Alize's family does not believe that he hanged himself. His grandfather, Peter Gibbs, was asked to identify his body.
I've never described this before. This is the first time I talk about it. They just unzipped the bag to here. They wouldn't let me see anymore. I noticed something was round his neck, which he don't generally wear. There was a little cord, and I knew it wasn't his.
The family has not been able to get Alize's autopsy report because his death is still an open case with the FBI. But according to his death certificate, Alize's cause of death was asphyxiation, hanging, and 3rd and 4th degree burns. How the injury occurred? Hanging, and then set on fire.
If it was suicide, could someone hang themselves and then set themselves on fire?
Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
Yeah. How? Nobody's gonna be able to hang themselves to death and start themselves on fire. Could have he been smoking a cigarette and a cigarette caught him on fire? That's a probability. That's a possibility. But we don't know.
You think you know who killed Alize?
Yeah.
And that's just a few out of many cases where the victims and the families, they didn't get any justice. And now we had 2 missing American men. Mark Reisberg went missing. His sister and his employer got worried when he didn't show up for work because he loved his job. He would never just not show up. They called the police and had them do a welfare check on him. And they found his wallet and his mobile phone untouched inside his house. But Mark and his car was missing. After he had been missing for a while, he was found deceased in his car with a gunshot wound. The car was parked in a wooded area next to an abandoned house, close to Jolly. Why is there no information? Was he on the driver's seat, the passenger's seat, or in the back? Where was the gunshot wound? Was it in the head, the back, the chest? Was the gun in his hand, or was it next to him? Did he even own a gun? Who uses that house? Is it homeless people, cartels, or traffickers? Who drove him there, or did he drive there himself? And what was he doing there? Within a month of Mark Reisberg's disappearance, David Schultz went missing. He was driving a truck and had just picked up a lot of piglets. His truck was found abandoned in Sac City. All the piglets were still in the truck, and inside the truck they found his mobile phone and his wallet untouched. It was still there, and his jacket was found a bit further up the road in a ditch. The police don't think these cases are related. Mark worked for a company in Sac City. David's truck was found abandoned in Sac City. Mark's wallet and mobile phone was left behind untouched. David's wallet and mobile phone was left behind untouched. Both of them were driving on Highway 20, and both of them went missing within a month. And the police don't believe these cases are related. How can they not think that they're related? Mark is deceased, but David Schultz, he's still missing. I think it's really, really concerning and very disturbing. I'm not a professional at all, but I definitely believe that these two cases, they're related. And I also believe that Mike Reisberg, he was murdered, and David Schultz, he was kidnapped, and we have to help his family find him. We're gonna keep investigating, we're gonna keep searching, we're gonna keep pushing people, we're gonna keep looking and turning every single stone we meet on our way. And when we have the evidence that we need, we are gonna take it to the highest level outside South Dakota, because I don't trust any officials in South Dakota. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the police. I don't trust anyone in law enforcement at all. And I am 100% sure that some of these police officers, they're legit and they're doing their job. The only problem is who. And as long as you don't know who you can trust and who you can't trust, you have to assume that you can't trust anyone. These cartels, they need to be stopped. They have to do something about the border problems. And I hope there's going to be big consequences. And they need more control on the borders. Something definitely needs to happen here so people can feel safe. It's crazy. I had no idea it was this bad, but it is. So we're gonna keep searching, and when I have new updates, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but when I have new updates or find out about some new things, I'm gonna make an update video again. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna do my usual videos on unsolved crimes and mysteries. So that's it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you think is going on in South Dakota. Do you also think something is going on? Do you think there's corruption going on? Where do you think all these missing people are? Who do you think took them? And where do you think they're keeping them? I would really love to know. So until the next one, take care and stay safe. Bye.